I'm going to tell you about the 18 months that cost me everything I ever had. My name is G. That's not my real name, but I can't risk anyone figuring out who I am. I'm 30 years old. I've been out of prison for 4 months now, living in my childhood bedroom at my parents' house, trying to figure out how to exist in a world that doesn't want me anymore. I was convicted of aggravated assault, sentenced to 3 years, served 18 months in a state correctional facility before getting out on good behavior. Here's what I need you to understand before I tell you what happened. I'm not innocent. I'm not some wrongly accused victim of the system. I made choices. Bad choices. Selfish choices. Choices that set everything in motion. But I didn't commit the crime they sent me to prison for. And that distinction, that tiny, impossible distinction, has haunted me every single day since. This is what happened. 4 years ago, I had everything most people say they want. I was 26, married to a woman I'd known since college, Sarah. We'd been together for 8 years, married for 5. We had a daughter, Emma, who was 3 years old. I had a decent job as a project coordinator at a construction firm. We owned a small house in the suburbs. Nothing fancy, but it was ours. From the outside, we looked perfect. From the inside, we were drowning. I don't know exactly when it started falling apart. Maybe it was always falling apart and I just didn't notice. Sarah and I barely talked anymore beyond logistics. Who's picking up Emma? What bills are due? Did you take the trash out? We hadn't had a real conversation in months, maybe years. We hadn't had sex in over a year. I'm not saying that to justify anything. I'm just telling you the truth. We were roommates who happened to share a kid. We were going through the motions because neither of us knew how to stop. I should have left, or tried harder, or gone to therapy, or done literally anything other than what I did. But I didn't. Her name was Rachel. I met her at a work site. She was a supplier rep, came by every few weeks to check on materials orders. Mid-30s, divorced, no kids. Funny, easy to talk to. The kind of person who actually seemed interested when she asked how you were doing. We started having coffee during her site visits, just talking, about work at first, then about life. She told me about her divorce. I told her about, well, not my marriage exactly, just how tired I was, how stuck I felt. It felt good to be heard. I'm not going to sit here and tell you I didn't know what I was doing. I knew. Every coffee, every text message that had nothing to do with work orders, every time I found myself looking forward to seeing her, I knew. 3 months after we met, I slept with her. It was at a hotel near the work site. I told Sarah I was working late on a project deadline. It was mechanical, quick. Afterwards, I felt sick, but I did it again 2 weeks later, and then again. For 4 months, I lived a double life. I'd come home to Sarah and Emma, help with dinner, read bedtime stories, sleep next to my wife who had no idea. Then during the day, I'd text Rachel, meet her for lunch, sleep with her when we could find time. I told myself it didn't mean anything, that it was just physical, that it would end soon. It didn't end. Sarah found out on a Tuesday. I'd been sloppy, left my phone unlocked while I was in the shower. Sarah saw a text from Rachel. Can't wait to see you Thursday. When I came out, Sarah was sitting on the bed, holding my phone. Who's Rachel? She asked. My stomach dropped. A supplier rep. For work. Why can't she wait to see you Thursday? I could have lied. I could have said it was about a project. But I was so tired of lying. I've been seeing her, I said quietly. Sarah's face didn't change. She just stared at me. Seeing her? Yes. Sleeping with her? Yes. She nodded slowly, like she was processing information. How long? 4 months. She set my phone down on the nightstand, stood up, walked to the closet, and started pulling out clothes. Sarah! Don't, she said. Her voice was calm, too calm. Don't say anything. Just get out. Can we talk about this? Get out. I grabbed some clothes, threw them in a bag, and left. I slept in my car in a grocery store parking lot that night because I couldn't think of anywhere else to go. Sarah filed for divorce 2 days later. I moved into a cheap extended stay motel, the kind with weekly rates and suspicious stains on the carpet. I kept working, kept seeing Rachel, kept pretending I was handling things. I wasn't handling things. Sarah wouldn't talk to me except through lawyers. I could see Emma on supervised visits twice a week, 3 years old, asking why Daddy didn't live at home anymore, and I had to smile and say, Daddy's just staying somewhere else for a little while. Rachel started pulling away, said things were complicated now that Sarah knew, said maybe we should take a break. I was losing everything. I found out about him 3 weeks after Sarah kicked me out. His name was Marcus, Rachel's ex-husband. I didn't know he was still in the picture. Rachel had told me they were divorced, done, hadn't spoken in over a year. But apparently, that wasn't entirely true. Apparently, Marcus had been trying to reconcile. Apparently, Rachel had been considering it. Apparently, she'd been sleeping with both of us. I found out because he showed up at the motel. It was a Saturday afternoon. I was watching TV, trying not to think about the fact that it was supposed to be my weekend with Emma, but Sarah had canceled the visit. There was a knock on the door. I opened it. The guy standing there was tall, maybe 6'2", muscular, older than me, probably early 40s. He had the kind of face that looked like he'd been in a few fights and won most of them. "You G?" he asked. "Who's asking?" "Marcus, Rachel's husband." "Ex-husband," I said automatically. He smiled, not friendly. "Yeah, that's what she tells everyone." My heart was pounding. "What do you want?" "I want to talk to you about my wife." "She's not your wife. We're working things out, or we were, until you." I should have closed the door, should have told him to leave, should have done anything other than what I did next. "Look, man, I didn't know you were still." "You didn't know? You didn't think to ask if she was seeing anyone before you started fucking her? She told me you were divorced. And you believed her?" "Why wouldn't I?" He laughed, mean. "You're really gonna stand there and tell me you care about honesty? You're married, aren't you?" My jaw tightened. "That's different." "How?" "That's none of your business. You made it my business when you put your hands on my wife." "She's not." "Stop saying that." His voice was louder now, angrier. "She's my wife. We've been married for 12 years. We have a house together. We were trying to have a kid before she met you." I didn't know what to say. "She told me everything," Marcus continued. "About the hotels, about the lies, about how you told her you were leaving your wife for her." "I never said that." "She says you did." "She's lying." "Right, everyone's lying except you." He stepped closer. I stepped back into the doorway. "You need to leave," I said. "I'm not leaving until you understand something." He was in my face now, close enough that I could smell the beer on his breath. "You stay away from Rachel. You don't call her. You don't text her. You don't exist to her anymore. You got that?" "Or what?" I don't know why I said that. Pride, maybe. Stupidity. The fact that I'd already lost everything, and some part of me didn't care anymore. Marcus's eyes went dark. "Or I'll make you regret it." "Get out of my face," I said. He shoved me. Hard. I stumbled backwards into the room. Then he was on me. It happened fast. Marcus came at me swinging, caught me in the jaw. I went down, hit the floor, tasted blood. He was on top of me, fists coming down. I covered my face, tried to push him off. He was stronger than me, heavier, angrier, but I was desperate. I got my knee up, shoved him off balance, scrambled to my feet. He came at me again and I swung, caught him in the side of the head. He staggered. We were both breathing hard, circling each other in the tiny motel room like animals. "Stop," I said. "Just stop." He didn't stop. He charged. I sidestepped. He crashed into the desk, knocked over the lamp. It shattered. He turned, grabbed a piece of the broken lamp, came at me with it. I grabbed his wrist. We struggled. He was stronger, but I had leverage. We fell, crashed into the wall. His head hit the corner of the TV stand. There was a sound, a crack. He went limp. I let go, stepped back. He slumped to the floor. Blood was coming from the back of his head, a lot of blood. Shit, I said. Shit, shit, shit. I dropped to my knees. Marcus? Hey, Marcus. He didn't respond. I grabbed my phone, called 911. There's been a fight, I said when they answered. A guy's hurt. He's bleeding. I need an ambulance. They asked me questions. I answered. Where are you? What happened? Is he breathing? I checked. He was breathing. Barely. The ambulance came. The police came. They took Marcus. They took me. At the police station, they separated us, put me in an interrogation room. I told them the truth. Marcus came to my motel. He attacked me. We fought. He hit his head. I called 911 immediately. They wrote it all down. Then they told me Marcus had a different story. According to Marcus, he'd come to talk to me, calmly, peacefully, just to ask me to leave Rachel alone. And I'd attacked him, unprovoked, beat him while he was down. That's not what happened, I said. He says you were enraged, that you blamed him for your marriage falling apart. I've never even met him before today. He has a fractured skull, broken ribs, severe concussion. My blood went cold. He attacked me first. I was defending myself. There's no evidence of that. Check the room. There's a broken lamp. You can see we were both fighting. A broken lamp doesn't prove he started it. I called 911. Why would I do that if I attacked him? The detective shrugged. Guilt, panic, afraid he was going to die and you'd be charged with murder. This is insane. We called Rachel, the detective said. She confirmed that Marcus came to talk to you about ending the affair. She said he was scared of you, that you'd been calling her, threatening her, telling her you'd hurt Marcus if she didn't leave him. My mouth went dry. That's not true. None of that is true. She seemed pretty credible. She's lying to protect her marriage. Or you're lying to avoid assault charges. They arrested me. The bail hearing was a nightmare. The prosecutor argued I was dangerous, violent, that I'd put a man in the hospital because he'd asked me to stop sleeping with his wife. My public defender, a tired woman in her 50s, argued self-defense, but she didn't have much to work with. Marcus was still in the hospital, severe injuries. The photos were brutal. Rachel had given a statement, said I'd been obsessed with her, that she'd tried to end things and I'd become erratic. Sarah was contacted, asked about my behavior. She told them I'd been distant, secretive, and increasingly aggressive in the months before we separated. Bail was set at $75,000. I didn't have $75,000. My parents couldn't afford it. I stayed in county jail. My public defender's name was Linda. She came to see me a week later. We need to talk about a plea deal, she said. I'm not pleading guilty. I didn't start that fight. The evidence doesn't support that. Because they're lying. Gee, listen to me. Marcus has a fractured skull, broken ribs. He was in the ICU for 3 days. The photos are bad, really bad. A jury is going to look at those photos and they're going to want someone to pay for it. He attacked me first. Can you prove that? The motel has cameras. In the hallway, not in the room. And the footage shows Marcus entering your room. It doesn't show him attacking you. So what? So it looks like you invited him in and then assaulted him. That's insane, Linda sighed. The prosecutor is offering a deal. Aggravated assault. 3 years. You'd be eligible for parole in 18 months with good behavior. 3 years for defending myself? Or you can go to trial and risk 7 to 10 if you lose. I'm not pleading guilty. Think about it, Linda said. Think hard. I thought about it for 2 days. Then I called Linda back. What happens if I go to trial and lose? 7 to 10 years. possibly more if they can prove intent. And if I take the plea, 3 years, out in 18 months, maybe less. I closed my eyes. I thought about Emma, 3 years old. She'd be 6 when I got out. Would she even remember me? I thought about Sarah, already filing for full custody, already moving on. I thought about Marcus in the hospital, Rachel lying to protect him. The system stacked against me. I took the plea. Sentencing was 3 weeks later. The judge said I'd made a series of destructive choices that culminated in serious violence. He said I needed to take responsibility and reflect on the harm I'd caused. 3 years. I was transferred to a state correctional facility 2 hours from home. Sarah filed for divorce while I was inside. It was finalized 6 months later. She was granted full custody of Emma. I was allowed supervised visits once I was released. Maybe. My parents visited once a month. They were ashamed of me. They didn't say it, but I could see it. Rachel never visited, never wrote. I heard through someone that she and Marcus had reconciled, that they'd moved to a different state. I served 18 months, got out 4 months ago. Now I'm 30 years old, living in my childhood bedroom, sleeping in a twin bed with posters on the walls from when I was 16. I have a criminal record, aggravated assault, violent offender. I can't find a job. Every application asks about felony convictions. Every interview ends the same way once they see my background check. I haven't seen Emma yet. Sarah says she's not ready for me to be back in her life. Says it would be too confusing. My lawyer says we can fight it, but it'll take time and money I don't have. I wake up every morning at 6 a.m. because that's when they woke us up inside. I can't break the habit. I sit in this room and I think about everything I lost. My marriage, my daughter, my career, my freedom, my future. And I think about the choices that led me here, the affair, the lies. The moment Marcus showed up at my door and I didn't just close it. Here's what I've learned. I didn't go to prison because I assaulted Marcus. I went to prison because I gave everyone a reason to want me there. The affair made me the villain, the husband made me the aggressor, the injuries made me the criminal, and once you're the villain, the truth doesn't matter anymore. Marcus attacked me first. I know that. I was there. But I also destroyed his marriage. Slept with his wife. Gave him every reason to hate me. So when he came to my door and things went wrong, no one cared about self-defense. They cared about punishment. And I got it. I saw Emma last week, through a window at a supervised visitation center. She's 5 now. She didn't recognize me. Sarah stood behind her, arms crossed, watching me through the glass like I was dangerous. Maybe I am. Maybe that's what I've become. A man who made selfish choices until those choices made him into someone he doesn't recognize. I didn't deserve 3 years for defending myself. But maybe I deserve to lose everything for the choices that put me in that room in the first place. I don't know anymore. All I know is this. My name is G. I'm 30 years old. I've been out of prison for 4 months, and I'm still serving the sentence. It just doesn't have bars anymore.